morning mist gently rolls through the towering canopy of the Amazon rainforest. Glowing amber eyes emerge from the deep shadows of the dense underbrush. A black panther steps cautiously out of the ferns onto the wet mud. The panther freezes, watching a massive dark shadow glide beneath the river's surface. He takes 2 silent steps backward, retreating safely into the lush green ferns. The sleek panther walks gracefully through the deeply tangled jungle understory. He presses his scarred face close to a mossy root to sniff the damp wood. Crouching incredibly low to the ground, the panther stalks an unseen target. High above, a spider monkey violently shakes a branch and screams an alarm. The interrupted panther sits back on his haunches, looking up at the noisy canopy. He turns sharply to the right and walks quickly away from the loud monkeys. The panther completely stops at the edge of a deeply flooded forest. A vibrant blue poison dart frog sits perfectly still near the panther's heavy paw. The panther leans closely over the water, his face reflecting clearly on the dark surface. The rugged, heavily armored snout of a massive black caiman silently breaches the water. The black panther looks straight up the towering, vine-covered trunk of a massive kapok tree. With explosive power, the panther leaps and digs his sharp claws into the vertical bark. He pulls his heavy, muscular body onto a thick, horizontal
With powerful
branch
muscles, the
extending
sleek
over
black
the water.
panther that pulls onto the cover.
jet black panther walks flawlessly along the high, mossy branch, using his long tail for balance. He lies completely flat against the rough wood, draping his front paws loosely over the edge. Far below, the massive black caiman floats entirely motionless in the dark water. A brilliantly colored macaw flies rapidly through a bright gap in the green canopy. The panther's head snaps quickly to the right as he listens to a distant sound. Standing tall on the branch, he visually calculates the distance to the next tree. The panther tightly coils his powerful hind legs to prepare for an explosive leap. His muscular body extends fully mid-air as he leaps gracefully between the towering trees. He lands heavily, digging his sharp claws deeply into the mossy bark to secure his grip. The panther quickly climbs headfirst down the massive vertical tree trunk to the ground. He confidently steps off the tree base onto the dry, leaf-covered forest floor. The panther jumps silently onto a fallen log and looks intently into the lower canopy. A massive Harpy Eagle watches fiercely from a thick branch directly above its large nest. The huge eagle aggressively flares its wings in a dramatic, intimidating territorial display. The panther flattens his dark ears and bares his sharp teeth in a defensive hiss. He steps smoothly backward off the log, retreating slowly from the dangerous avian territory. Panting softly in the heavy heat, the panther navigates through a dense thicket of ferns. He steps cautiously into the ankle-deep clear water of a narrow jungle creek. The panther laps up the cool water, his bright eyes continuously scanning the opposite bank. Thick, dark green scales rise slowly from the submerged sand right beside his paws. The massive head of a giant anaconda breaches the surface, flicking its black hair. The panther leaps violently backward, launching his heavy body safely out of the creek. He shakes his body vigorously, sending a spray of water flying from his black fur. The panther walks smoothly along the high ridge, holding his nose low to track a scent. A large gray tapir grazes peacefully on low-hanging leaves in a sunlit jungle clearing. The panther lowers his belly to the ground, locking his intense amber eyes on the tapir. His heavy paw steps delicately on soft green moss, perfectly avoiding a dry twig. The panther's muscles tense as he digs his back claws deeply into the dirt. He explodes from the underbrush, sprinting across the clearing directly toward the massive herbivore. The panther tapir spins violently and crashes his heavy body blindly through the thorny bushes. The panther weaves incredibly fast through the dense tree trunks without losing any speed. The heavy tapir plunges on its feet, crashing violently into the deep black water.
The panther skids to an abrupt halt, digging his front claws deeply into the wet mud. Panting heavily, he stands on the edge and watches the tapir swim safely away. The exhausted panther turns away from the wide river and walks slowly back into the ferns. A large capybara rests completely still in the soft mud near a shallow puddle. The jet-black panther bursts directly through the thick wall of ferns for a devastating pounce. He tackles the heavy capybara to the ground in a massive cloud of flying brown mud. The victorious panther stands tall over his subdued prey, panting as he scans the tree line. He bites down firmly on the capybara's neck, his powerful shoulder muscles bulging with immense effort. The panther walks slowly backward, dragging his heavy meal into the dark kapok tree roots. The predator and his prey vanish completely into the pitch-black shadows of the massive root system. A thin, beautiful layer of white tropical mist slowly rolls over the glassy Blackwater River. The sleeping panther remains perfectly still on his high branch as the jungle darkens. The camera pulls high above, revealing the endless, vast expanse of the Amazon rainforest canopy. The final sliver of the sun dips below the horizon, casting a majestic purple twilight glow.